Thank you, sir. I do not believe we have a quorum at this time. I'm awaiting for the other commissioners, but it is 12 o'clock. So we'll wait for the other commissioners to join in.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And I'm present. This is Commissioner Alex Carpio.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Chairman, with that, we do have two present, and so we do have a quorum. The meeting is now being recorded, and it is noon. It's up to you if you'd like to wait for Commissioner Feinstein. He did indicate that he was going to be here, but we do have a quorum if you'd like to get started.
Okay, I will move. Let's move slowly into it and hope Commissioner Feinstein chimes in. I hereby call to order this special meeting of the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is Thursday, April 24th, 2025, and the time is 12:01 p.m. Our first item is our call to order. Would those commissioners in attendance please identify themselves and state as to whether they are here via telephone, Google Meets, or in person?
I am, this is Alex Carpio, Commissioner Alex Carpio. I'm available through Google Meets and telephone. I couldn't figure out how to do it on the Google Meets.
No worries. We're glad to have you, Commissioner. Thank you. I am Scott Fletcher. I too am here via telephone. Let's jump into new business, specifically relating to the boxing event requested by Team Combat League.
Mr. Chairman?
LLF. Yes.
I just want to advise you that Commissioner Feinstein has joined, and AAG Val Marciano is present with me in my office, just for the record.
Fantastic. We've got the full team on board. Welcome, everybody. Let's press on. Item B, our new business, is specifically relating to the boxing event requested by Team Combat League, LLLP, the Team Combat League, to be held at the Arizona Athletic Grounds in Mesa, Arizona on Saturday, May 24th, 2025. The commission may consider approval of the following. The first is pursuant to AAC R19-2-D601A, which allows for rule alteration if either the event venue dictates such or nationally accepted rules permit, and if the alteration would not compromise the safety of the combatants. A request by Team Combat League for approval by the commission to alter AAC R19-2-D602H1F relating to the number of knockdowns in a round as follows. A, whereas AAC R19-2-D602H1F states in part, when a contestant is knocked down for the third time in a round, the referee shall stop the bout. Team Combat League requests that this rule be altered to limit the number of knockdowns in a single round bout to a maximum of 2. Mr. Vella, will you speak to this, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This pursuant to R19-2-D601A, I believe that this request does meet the requirements and the conditions set forth there. The event venue has requested this alteration, and I do not believe that this would compromise the safety of the combatants because they would effectively be in the ring for less time, and it's more restrictive. Rather than being knocked down 3 times, they would only be knocked down twice, and the bout would be stopped. Therefore, I would argue that it's actually safer. So with that, I do recommend approval of this item.
Okay, great. Thank you. Commissioners, thoughts, questions regarding this?
No, I tend to agree with Mr. Vella in that the rules would be less permissive of the safety concerns related to knockouts and concussions. So I don't have any issue with that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Carpio, anything?
Nothing. I just wanted to ask, is the Team Combat League representative present?
Yes, sir, they are.
So it looks like they already have like the 12 teams, and we have like Phoenix Fury. Have they already been doing these types of events just in different cities or different states that have allowed this?
Yes, sir. That's an accurate representation we have. The Phoenix team has already competed, albeit in other jurisdictions. We're hopeful to have them have some home venue events in Mesa and Phoenix.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. I tend to agree with everyone else that 2 knockdowns is better than 3, and certainly safer for the combatants. The chair would be open to motion if someone wants to attempt to craft one.
I have one more question, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
please.
Mr. Villa, have you been able to view any of these events? I've not been sent a link to a recording I've not seen how these events proceed. I heard the description from the Team Combat League team, but I've never actually viewed one of these events, and I'm curious if you have, Mr. Villa.
Yes, sir, Commissioner. I have not viewed them live in person, but I have viewed these events via YouTube and seen them play out. I also had for season 2, I believe it was, I had seen some of the events broadcast live in Florida and other jurisdictions. So it's an interesting format, and I could certainly compile some videos to send to the commissioners if you all would like.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Commissioner Feinstein, if I may, on Friday night from the Mesquite Arena in Dallas, Texas, the Phoenix Fury are going to be competing. It's going to be broadcast live on Merit TV. It's a station that's owned by Dr. Phil and Steve Harvey. I believe the broadcast starts at 8 p.m., but the Phoenix team will be competing.
Yeah, if you could communicate with Mr. Vella so that we would be able to view that somehow, that would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Commissioners, I have looked at some of their previous events, which are available on YouTube, and that too can be helpful just for catching up with the approach that they have here. Let's circle back to B1. Is there by chance a motion?
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to AAC R19-2-D601A, which allows for the rule alteration, I move that we approve the request of the commission to alter AAC R19-2-D602H1F relating to the number of knockdowns in a round as proposed by the Team Combat League.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second Commissioner Feinstein's motion.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, commissioners. Let's push to B2, which is pursuant to AAC R19-2-D601A, which allows for rule alteration if either the event venue dictates such or nationally accepted rules permit, and if the alteration does not compromise the safety of the combatants. A request by Team Combat League for approval by the commission to alter AAC R19-2-D602 relating to the method of judging as follows. Item A, whereas AAC R19-2-D602I1 states in part, the method of judging shall be the 10-point must system. In the system, the better contestant receives 10 points and the opponent proportionally less, but not less than 7 points. Team Combat League requests that this rule be altered to permit a score of 9-8 when an even exchange of knockdowns occurs between the boxers in a single round. Mr. Vella, let's chat about this one.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So just as the previous request was made by the event venue, meets the conditions under R19-2-D601A. I do not believe this compromises the safety because I don't believe that scoring has anything to do with the safety of the combatants, and therefore I do recommend its approval. And to give some more context on this, this is in the event that each combatant knocks the other one down and scores a knockdown, and then obviously there's more throughout the bout. Maybe one is leading by way of scoring punches or so on, and so the judges are ruling for it to be a 9-8 so that both knockdowns are indicated. So I do recommend its approval, That's all I have to say on the matter.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Vella. One question I have is, I'm assuming that when and if we put one of these events on, our judges will be carefully brought up to speed on this somewhat different breed of cat of scoring. None of them have ever written down 9-8 that I know of. So we'd have to carefully make sure that our judges are up to speed on this approach.
Absolutely, and that's also obviously going to be an obvious necessity for our referees regarding the 2 knockdown rule. It's not something that they're used to, and so therefore, assuming that these items are approved today, I'll immediately move forward with ensuring that our judges and referees are informed of this and educated well on the scoring criteria and other
Thank you.
that are being made.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Vella. Commissioners, thoughts, questions about this rule?
Mr. Vella, this is Commissioner Carpio. With regard to the refs and judges, is that something that we have our existing refs and judges that will be trained on this, or will there be other refs and judges trying to get licensed to do this type of event?
This will be our judges that are currently licensed with the Arizona State Boxing and MMA Commission. So the judges that are working boxing events currently will be the ones officiating these events as this is traditional boxing.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Feinstein, any thoughts?
No
Okay.
questions for me, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Here would be open to motion if one can be crafted.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to AACR 19-2-D601A, which allows for the rule alteration if either the event venue dictates such or nationally accepted rules permit, and if the alteration would not compromise the safety of the combatants, a request of the Team Combat League for approval of the commission to alter AACR 19-2-D602I relating to the method of judging as follows. Whereas AACR 19-2-D602I1 states in part the method of judging shall be a 10-point must system, and in this system, the better contestant receives 10 points and the opponent proportionally but not less than 7 points. Team Combat League requests that this rule be altered to permit a score of 9-8 when in the event exchange of knockdowns occurs between the boxers in a single round bout. I move that we approve and allow this rule alteration.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, leading us to B3, which is pursuant to AACR 19-2-D601B, a request by Team Combat League for special approval by the commission regarding time between bouts. Whereas AACR 19-2-D601B states, unless special approval is obtained from the commission, a contestant shall not be allowed to compete until the following time periods have elapsed. 1, 5 days if the contestant has competed anywhere in a bout of 6 rounds or less, or 2, 10 days if the contestant has competed anywhere in a bout of more than 6 rounds. Team Combat League requests special approval by the commission to permit a combatant to compete in a maximum of 2 single-round bouts in a single day. The executive director views the request as reasonable so long as the 2 single-round bouts in a single day are not consecutive bouts. And in light of ARS Section 5-233A, every combatant in a bout is required to undergo a pre- and post-bout physical examination. Mr. Vella, will you elaborate on this, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. And so this item, I do believe, and I recommend approval because I do believe that it does not compromise the safety of the combatants in any way. It is strictly the current existing rule is designed obviously for combatants that compete in 6-round or less bouts. And as we know, traditionally, but if it's a boxing contest, 4 rounds is the typical minimum bout that we would see. And therefore, in this context, the combatants would be going 1 3-minute round essentially in a bout, and then later on they may go to another round in the same bout, but the maximum they would compete is 2 rounds, or 2 bouts, so to speak, 2 single round bouts in one night. And so it would essentially be less than even a traditional boxing contest. And therefore, I do recommend its approval with the conditions that I set forth in there. And that would be that 2 single round bouts are not consecutive, and that the contestants would have to have a pre-bout examination and a post-bout examination with each single round bout. So if they did compete twice in a night, essentially they would have a pre and post-bout examination before and after each of those bouts.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out the pre and post-bout physical examinations that give our ringside physicians control of the situation. The Team Combat League folks, I have a question. What happens when you potentially lose a winner, if you will, someone who won in the first round but has suffered some sort of cut or whatever it might be that prevents him or her from participating in your second round? How do you handle that?
If there's an accidental foul of some nature, the round is scored 10-10. If there's a knockout, the round is scored 10-9 because there was a performance-based advantage. So again, just to reiterate, traditional boxing contests, 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12 rounds. In any given TCL event, no boxer from either team will compete in more than 2 non-consecutive 3-minute rounds. There'll be a maximum of 6 minutes of competition. Each of the 8 boxers per team that do compete in that second round are obligated to undergo a physical examination by a licensed medical practitioner upon completion of their initial round of competition, as well as prior to participating in that second round. If they're not cleared to compete in that second round, the round is scratched. That maximum 2 rounds is still half the minimum of 4-round contest that a more novice boxer would typically compete in outside of the Team Combat League format. TCL has received and submitted a letter from Association of Ringside's physician accredited Dr. Damon Zavala from Nevada, opining in sum and substance on the safety of TCL's format for that very reason.
Thank you. I appreciate you addressing that. I was curious what you do when someone, there we go. So it's a scratch. Okay. Thank you very much. Very helpful. Commissioners, thoughts, questions?
Yeah, this is the, Mr. Chairman, this is the part of the rule set that I have some concerns about as a physician as it relates to our current rules and procedures, which is that if you are concussed in a fight, we typically would give you a 30-day suspension. So I don't have any issue with this, but once the physician, the difference between 2 consecutive bouts that are only, say, 2 rounds and a 4-round bout is that the physician, if somebody gets knocked down in the first round of a 4-round bout, okay, the physician doesn't examine that person before the subsequent rounds. Okay, but if that person is knocked down or knocked out in the course of that fight, when our physician examines them, they're going to say concussion based on the observation that the person was knocked down or knocked out, and they're going to write a 30-day suspension. And so I don't see us changing that particular procedure, because if in the first bout the combatant is knocked down, they get up, they somehow get through the round and finish the fight. When the physician examines them after that fight, they're still going to have the opinion potentially that that person was concussed. And thus they now absorb the liability of sending a concussed fighter back into the ring. And so my feeling is that this is fine, but if the fighter gets knocked down or significantly concussed, the doctor is not going to do anything out of our normal procedure, which is to recommend a 30-day suspension before the next fight. So as long as you understand that that's our procedure and that's likely what's going to happen, the same thing would go for a cut, which is even easier, right? Because again, you could get cut in the second round. The cut man's able to stop it. But once the fight ends and the physician examines the cut and determines that it needs sutures, they're not going to be allowed to go on to the next bout, right? So as long as that's that procedure that we have instituted to preserve the safety of the fighters once our docs have examined, and that there's a chance that if the fighter's knocked down, we're not going to let them go to the next fight, even if they win, then I'm okay with this.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
if I may.
Yes, please. Please.
weigh in. So we do, so just so you're aware, and later in the agenda, we're going to cover this. The boxer, and I'll allow Team Combat League also, if that's okay, Mr. Chairman, to weigh in if I misspeak. But my understanding is, based on what I've discussed with Team Combat League and also what's in their rule set, is that a boxer who loses by way of disqualification, knockout, technical knockout, or where the boxer was knocked down 2 times during the round, or if they're deemed ineligible by the ringside position, then they lose their eligibility to compete in the subsequent single round bout in the same night. So that's, of course, if they competed and they were deemed ineligible for the next one, then that bout was scratched. And Mr. Chairman, if Team Combat League may weigh in to correct me if I misstated anything.
And just before,
I'm sorry.
the other, this Commissioner Carpio, I mean, the other thing is that the teams are scheduled to compete in 8 events over the course of the regular season, assuming different jurisdictions. And if they can't fight, that's the question I have. Is there an alternative, an alternate fighter, or do they just scratch the fighters? Does the team lose? I guess if you can elaborate on that too, if they're concussed or have a 30-day suspension.
Absolutely. So everything is left to the discretion of the doctors ringside. As we're going to get into in this agenda, if a fighter is examined and deemed ineligible to compete by way of knockdown, knockout, cut, low blow, or otherwise, we have, that's incorporated into the rules, into the scoring. But there's no expectation that that fighter return. That suspension is honored nationwide across the board. And there's kind of like a practice squad that these coaches on these teams maintain for instances such as this that they draw upon in the event someone is deemed ineligible to compete. So for purposes of clarity and avoidance of doubt, if someone is concussed, there's no expectation for them to return whatsoever. That is factored into that second round that individual is supposed to participate in. If it was a performance-based outcome, such as a knockdown or a knockout, that round is scored 10-9. If it was an accidental non-performance-based outcome, a low blow, a cut, that round is scored 10-10 because there was no performance-based element to the outcome.
Thank you. That's very helpful. To be clear, every decision about a fighter going to a second fight will fall to our physicians.
Absolutely and unequivocally.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Commissioners, any other thoughts or questions about this?
So we would have, so if our doctor in Arizona says he can't fight, the other jurisdiction have to obey our doctors?
That's correct. If there was an event scheduled hypothetically in Philadelphia and that combatant was suspended, Commissioner Kunkel in Pennsylvania would honor that suspension. The coach for that particular team would go into his practice squad and bring someone up that fit that gender and weight class to compete during the period in which that suspension was still in effect.
Yes, sir. Commission. The health of the fighters is paramount to us, and the moment the doctor says they can't compete, whatever the suspension says, we follow that to the letter, no matter what state, what commission we're dealing with next. So the safety of the fighter is paramount to us, and we're going to do the best we can to make sure they stay safe. So whatever the doctor says will be followed to the letter.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
very helpful.
If I may make one more comment to this as well, as we're speaking about these things. The same exact criteria will be followed. Okay, every combatant will be subject to the medicals, blood work, eye exams, and everything that's required in our statutes and rules prior to licensing. And so they'll be required to do that. They'll be required to undergo pre and post examinations before and after each single round bout. And at any time, if they're deemed to be medically ineligible or don't meet the criteria set forth in our statutes and rules, or based on the physician's discretion, then they will not be allowed to compete. So I just wanted to clarify that. The same, that we're not asking for any sort of, and nothing in this request is asking for any sort of deviation from our standard practice as it relates to pre and post bout physical examinations or any of the medicals required by our statutes and rules. Okay, so this is just the matter of allowing for these combatants to compete in up to two single round non-consecutive bouts in one day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Very, very helpful. Commissioners, any other thoughts, questions? If not,
Nothing from me.
is there, would anyone like to attempt to craft a motion?
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to AAC R19-2-C601B, I move that we approve a request by the Team Combat League for special approval regarding our statute about time between bouts, whereby we would allow these contestants to, outside of our normal rule set, to have multiple bouts in the same evening in light of ARS 5-233A, still compliant with ARS 5-233A, requiring that every combatant is required to undergo a pre and post bout physical examination and is subject to the physician's opinion as to whether or not it is safe to do a consecutive bout.
Very good. Nicely done. Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying
Mr.
aye.
Chairman, before you
Yes,
move
yes.
forward with the motion, I just wanted to clarify. So that's under, that was a rule under AAC R19-2-D601B that we'd be granting special approval for, and also that it would be a non-consecutive bout. In the commissioner's motion, he stated consecutive. I just wanted to be clear. It would occur on the same day, but it would be a non-consecutive bout.
Yeah, thank you for that correction, Mr. Bella.
Okay, very good. We have a corrected motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. That pushes us into C, our information reports, review, discussion, and possible future action on item 1. The following team combat rules pertain exclusively to its tournament structure as opposed to the official ruling, decision, or result of each bout made by the judges or the referee based upon the methods outlined in AAC Title 19, Chapter 2, Part D, which will be the official results submitted to the official registry, BoxRec. Therefore, the following Team Combat League rules would not be used for the official judges during a bout, but would only be used by Team Combat League solely for purposes of allocating points as they relate to the tournament outcome. Item A, when a knockout or technical knockout occurs in a bout, or a boxer is knocked down 2 times in a single bout, a tournament score of 10-7 will be allocated by Team Combat League. Item B, additionally, Team Combat League will allocate tournament points as follows. Firstly, prior to a tournament round 1 beginning, if a team does not have a boxer to compete in any given tournament launch or middle rounds, a tournament score of 10-9 will be allocated by Team Combat League. Secondly, once tournament round 1 begins, if a boxer scheduled to compete in the tournament launch or rounds fails to appear in the ring and compete in their designated round, a tournament score of 10-7 will be allocated by Team Combat League. Thirdly, if a boxer scheduled to compete in the tournament money rounds loses a bout by way of disqualification, knockout, technical knockout, or where the boxer was knocked down 2 times during the tournament launch or middle rounds, a boxer's eligibility to compete in the tournament money rounds is lost. A tournament score of 10-9 will be allocated by Team Combat League. Just a minute. And fourthly, if a boxer scheduled to compete in the tournament money rounds cannot compete due to any other outcome during the tournament launch or middle rounds, e.g. recipient of headbutt, low blow, or other foul, a tournament score of 10-10 will be allocated by Team Combat League. Let's go on to item 2. Pursuant to AAC R19-2-D602J regarding the number and duration of rounds in a boxing bout, AAC R19-2-D602J states, 1, the number of rounds in a boxing bout shall not exceed a maximum of 12, and 2, the duration of each round shall be a maximum of 3 minutes, followed by a 1-minute rest period after each non-final round. Item A states, whereas no alteration is necessary under AAC R19-2-D602J for purposes of public disclosure and for clarification, the executive director views the Team Combat League's format of single round bouts of a 3-minute duration as acceptable and not inconsistent with AAC R19-2-D602J. Mr. Velo, it looks like we've gotten Team Combat League all buttoned up. We're ready to go.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. And with these items, I'll also state while we're on the information report section that with these items, I will be approving their event request for May 24th, 2025 at the Arizona Athletic Grounds.
Very good. Thank you. And thank you, you fellas from Team Combat. Thank you for your time and help with this. You are a little bit different breed of cat, so you had to lead us down the path, but we're excited about your event and want to make sure it goes off without a hitch. So thanks again for joining us.
We sincerely appreciate your time today. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
You all take care. We'll see you soon. Mr. Vela, D is the call to the public. Is there anyone who would like to chat with us?
At this time, Mr. Chairman, I do not see anyone that is acknowledging that they wish to speak.
Okay, very good. E is our call to the commission. The director may introduce a summary of current events, ask questions, and or make comments. Mr. Vela, something you'd like to talk about?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We've got a few events coming up this weekend. We have Rough MMA on Saturday at the Celebrity Theater. Next Friday, we have UFL at the Westworld of Scottsdale. That's Friday, May 2nd. And then 2 weeks later, approximately, we have Rise of the Prospects down in Tucson on May 17th, which is a Saturday. And then the following week, we will have Team Combat League competing at the Arizona Athletic Grounds in Mesa on May 24th, 2025.
That's great. It's a full boat. I've got something to talk about. I, on Saturday, got the chance to meet our newest commissioner, Commissioner Carpio. He's going to be a great addition. Enjoy our time and look forward to your future exploits. Thanks for joining the team. It was a great meeting you on Saturday.
Thank you. It was great to meet you also.
Yep, more to come. Speaking of which, anything you'd like to talk about, Commissioner?
No, I attended my first event, obviously, and I was really impressed by how everything is run by Mr. Vela and his team. And I think Arizona is very blessed and lucky to have him and his team. And I look forward to attending more events and learning a lot more.
Yeah, agreed. Mr. Vela, Arania, we are blessed to have a fantastic crew, and I think being as busy as we are really helps. We get a lot of reps. We get a lot of chances to referee or judge or inspect. So it's a nice situation for everybody. Commissioner Feinstein, any thoughts?
None for me, Mr. Chairman. But again, just always appreciate the hard work of the executive director and the team, and look forward to these events.
Agreed. Well, good. Let's press to F. An announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be held virtually via Google Meets at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 and is subject to change based on a quorum. Item G is an adjournment. Is there a motion for an adjournment?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a
Second.
motion. Is there a second? Do we have a second?
I
We have a
second.
motion and a second. There is a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you all for your time. That was a great meeting. You all take care, and great things are coming this week. We'll see you out there.
All right.
Thank you.
Goodbye, all.